Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets are in the midst of another historic season, putting up some numbers that we have never really seen before in NBA history, and in fact, they are actually the most efficient offense in NBA history. These just aren't the same Denver Nuggets, and while a lot of that credit does go to Nikola Jokic, he's not doing this all by himself. Jamal Murray is not just having a good season, he is playing the best basketball of his career. This could finally be the season where we see Nikola Jokic's streak of not having an All-Star or even All-NBA teammate finally come to an end. While Murray has long been an All-Star level talent, he's never really earned the nod to make the All-Star game, let alone an All-NBA team. But this year, Jamal Murray has evolved, he's reached a new level, and that is paying dividends for the Nuggets as a whole. Right now, Jamal Murray is averaging about 24 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists on what's essentially a 50-40-90 season. Everything from his scoring to his playmaking to his overall efficiency is at a career high, but these aren't just empty numbers either. Denver currently sits as the 3rd best record in the NBA, the 2nd best record in a very difficult Western Conference, and the #1 offense not just in the NBA this year, but the #1 offensive rating in NBA history. On top of that, they have the highest true shooting percentage in NBA history as a team, meaning not only is this offense incredibly just strong in the half court, they are incredibly efficient in the half court from the free throw line, from 3-point range, and just their overall efficiency from the field. Now, the Joker, of course, has been insane, and that deserves a topic of its own, but it's his right-hand man that I want to talk about because it's Jamal Murray who has been reaching some insane levels. The foundation of Jamal Murray's play starts with the shooting. This is by far the most efficient year of his career, as he has seen career highs in his field goal percentage and 3-point percentage on a best career volume. He ranks top 10 in threes made, as well as top 20 in overall 3-point efficiency, but like many great shooters of the past, Jamal Murray has multiple ways of beating you. Murray is very comfortable spotting up, but he is even better on pull-up shots. Beyond that, he's got legitimate deep range. On threes a foot or more beyond the arc, Jamal Murray is shooting over 40% while being near top of the league in volume, making over 2 threes per game from this distance. This forces the defense into awkward positions, it makes him step up higher, it stretches coverage even more, and that leads to more difficult rotations. His range is overall incredibly impressive, and while it does put a lot of pressure on defenses, it's his pull-up game that really separates him from the rest of most 3-point shooters. At the moment, Jamal Murray is the most efficient pull-up 3-point shooter in the NBA, with only Shai Gilgeous-Alexander being somewhat close. It is this sort of pull-up shooting that punishes even the best of NBA defenses. This leads to the Nuggets scoring in a variety of ways. Whether it's attacking in transition, attacking a bad closeout, or being aggressive in a pick and roll, pull-up threes are typically the kind of shots that defenses are okay giving up, but these are the kind of shots that he dominates them with. So when defenses overreact trying to shut down Jamal Murray's outside game, it's the rest of his game that really comes through, and it really shines just how good of a player he is. Beyond just his pure shooting, Jamal Murray ranks as one of the best isolation scorers in the league, ranking around the 75th percentile. He's really got it all to be a strong 3-level scorer. He's got a strong all-around game that just makes him difficult to stay in front of. He's got good tight handles, he has a quick first step, and combined with his shooter's touch and just enough of a slashing ability, he's basically a threat from anywhere. And something that Jamal Murray does really well that I am an absolutely huge fan of is that he has a great balance of mid-range shots in his game. And by a great balance, I mean he's actually one of the best mid-range shooters in the entire NBA. He already ranks towards the top of the league in mid-range volume, but he converts these shots at a way better rate than anybody else in the league. Between his spin jumpers, his fadeaways, and a lethal step back, he's built a mid-range profile on the likes of, or even better than guys like Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and even Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And for the majority of his career, we've generally known that Murray can do this kind of stuff. We know that he can be a 3-level scorer, we know he can shoot, we know he can slash, but it's just this year that he's doing that all at a much higher level. But the one thing that I think is really distinguishing Murray is his playmaking and his playmaking efficiency. Jamal Murray is averaging about 7 assists per game, which is pretty impressive when you have a guy like Nikola Jokic who gets as many assists per game as he does. But he's doing this on only 2.3 turnovers per game, which already gives Murray one of the better assist to turnover ratios in the league. And if you look just at his turnover percentage is actually down a little bit compared to other parts of his career, so he's not really turning the ball over anymore, given the fact that his usage is what it is. But what I really like about Jamal Murray and his playmaking is it's not coming from one specific action or one specific way of offense. His isolation scoring draws in help and it creates easy kick-out opportunities. When he gets downhill, he does a great job in forcing the defense to collapse before dumping the ball off to a rolling big. People don't really talk about it, but having bigs with good hands is actually huge in the fact in these dump-off opportunities and getting it easy shot up. And guys like Jokic and guys like Jonas Valanciunas are generally pretty good at this. And in pick and roll situations, Murray is more than comfortable reading the floor, whether it's finding that roller that I talked about, finding the pop man, or creating his own shot when defenders hesitate. He's actually one of the best in the league when it comes to scoring out of the pick and roll, which of course just helps him as a playmaker. And that scoring gravity is absolutely insane. This year he is scoring about 9 points per game out of the pick and roll, which puts him in the 88th percentile of all players across the league. And everything that I've mentioned, that is yet to talk about what is probably the best part of Jamal Murray's game, and that is a legendary two-man game with Nikola Jokic. I would genuinely argue that just based on the two-man game, Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray are one of, if not the best duos of all time, specifically in this action. Murray is the near perfect guard to put alongside Jokic. He's fast enough and athletic enough to exploit mismatches, he's skilled enough to score at all 3 levels, and he is incredibly dangerous as a shooter that forces defenses to not be able to cheat off of him. With Jamal Murray's deep range, defenders are forced to step up higher on handoffs and screens, and that opens up everything else for Jokic and this Nuggets offense. When teams try to take away the handoff 3, Denver counters this with screen into handoff actions, flare screens, quick rescreens, or just a simple backdoor cut that forces defenses to communicate perfectly or give something up. We've seen this two-man game for years, and it was something that was incremental in helping them win a championship, but I would argue that with how Jamal Murray is playing this year, it has reached a new level. And everything Jamal Murray does pays its dues on the Nuggets. He makes their historic offense better by 10 points per 100 possessions just by stepping onto the court. But even if you look beyond just the advanced stats, you can see how he raises the rest of the Nuggets. Part of the reason as to why the Denver Nuggets are as great as they are this year is just because their spacing is a bit better compared to years past. By having better spacing, it's kind of simplified the Nuggets offense in a way where they can obviously be more complicated if needed, but now they have the spacing that can spread out the floor, it makes easier reads, and it just prevents bad plays and bad turnovers. Not to mention, Aaron Gordon has been a 44% three-point shooter, which is huge for the Nuggets spacing, and it's a huge help in the fact that Cameron Johnson has had a relatively slow start this year. The Nuggets are the pinnacle of an elite, efficient offense. While they're benefited by great chemistry, great coaching, great spacing, and one of, if not the greatest offensive peaks in NBA history, every single team needs that secondary option. Every single high-level team needs that shot creator on the perimeter. They need that guy that you can just ISO, go get a bucket with. They need that guy who can work well with their star player, and they need a guy like Jamal Murray who makes Nikola Jokic's playmaking, his on-ball, and his off-ball gravity even better. And that is Jamal Murray, but he's not just doing what he's been doing in the past, he's doing what he's been doing at a great, even better level. Jamal Murray has been at another level, whether you look at his playmaking, whether you look at his off-ball scoring, or whether you look at his on-ball scoring, he's been near unguardable no matter how good Jokic is this year. He's been having by far and away the best year and the most efficient year of his career, and I think that is a great hallmark that the streak of Nikola Jokic not having an all-star teammate is going to come to an end. That is it for this one. If you liked the video, you know what to do, but I will catch you guys all next time.